Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome each one of you, participants, and of course, our chief guest for this open day. In this Diploma in Digital Marketing program, so once again, I would like to welcome each and everyone for this virtual open day. And we have some interesting lineups for today's procedure. So before starting up with our open day, I would like to welcome a special person who is here with us. Before that, let me give a brief introduction about SLIM and then, of course, about the Digital Diploma in Digital Marketing program. So, SLIM Institute of Marketing is an apex body of Sri Lankan marketers which was founded in 1970 and subsequently incorporated by an Act of Parliament in 1980, recognizing it as the national body of marketing, a non-profit organization. So, before this, before that, let me give you an introduction, which is about digital marketing, one of the very important things as aspect for this session. Now, I would like to invite our guest speaker, Ms. Pramukshi Kariyawasam. Sorry.
Excuse me, I think a little bit network issue.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Ladies and gentlemen, with that introduction, let us move on to today's procedure. First of all, as I mentioned, I'm going to welcome I'm going to welcome the Vice President Education of Sri Lanka Institution of Marketing, Mr. Chintaka Pereira, to address the gathering.
Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to express my deepest respect to all our distinguished guest speaker, Ms. Pramukshi Kariyawasam, Director of Brand, Marketing and Loyalty, Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, Senior Lecturer, Mr. Shanaka Ratnayaka, all participants at today's inauguration, as well as my slave staff and my colleagues. Today is a monumental day for all SLIM students as we are taking our first steps to incorporate digital marketing into our daily operations. In the modern world, as many things are digitalized during the COVID-19 period, current economic downturn, I suppose we all got to experience firsthand how advanced today's digital marketing is. People have found different ways to do their daily activities easily with the help of modern digital technologies. And these methods have now become habits in many people's lives. Therefore, we at Sleep think that we should also take steps and fit it with society's current life. Digital marketing provides concrete insights into how well or not your marketing activities are working. Marketers, all other industry professionals, sales professionals needs digital marketing for everything. all client presentations to reports or company leaderships. Current market context, why digital marketing is very important. It's help you reach the right people and personalize highly targeted companies, campaigns, customer groups, or know what's working and what's not. I would like to conclude my speech by encouraging delegates all take full advantage of all activities and discussions conducted through the digital marketing your course program as it is more accurate and convenient. I wish you all the very best to complete the program successfully. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining with us. And next, I would like to invite our guest speaker, Pramukshi Kariyawasam, who is the Director of Brand Marketing, Loyalty and Partnership at Cinec Hotels and Resorts, and Assistant Vice President of John Keel's Group, with over 12 and a half years of experience in marketing, brand management, digital marketing, content strategy, crisis communication, and public relations. She presently overlooks brand marketing for Cinnamon portfolio of 15 hotels and resorts in Sri Lanka and in Maldives. She's got an eye for deal and passion for storytelling and believes in being a catalyst for change and transformation, both with peoples and brands. She is a marketing professional and has completed her qualification at CIM, UK, and is also a certified personality development and corporate etiquette trainer, awarded by City and Guilds, UK, and is a part of John Keel's Group's Learning and Development faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our guest speaker.
Thank you very much for that introduction and good afternoon to all of you today. I'm very excited to be sitting here from my room at home, my home office, and addressing all of you about digital marketing. First and foremost, congratulations. You have all taken the first step towards pursuing a course in digital marketing. And that comes with courage. That comes with overcoming fears of the unknown, because the digital world, as Mr. Chintaka rightly pointed out, is constantly evolving, constantly changing. So congratulations to all of you for making that decision today to take that step forward. You're definitely taking the right decision because there isn't a thing today that you can do without digital in mind. So I've prepared a couple of slides to share with you. When I was invited to speak to you today, I wondered what would be the most relevant topic to talk about. And I related this back to myself, both from a professional and personal aspect. Reason being, for me personally, as a marketer, over the last 12 and a half, close to 13 years, I have basically worn both hats. I have learned marketing in the traditional sense, in the theoretical sense, when I got myself qualified. And today, how I apply marketing is very different. A lot of the marketing practices that I apply at the company that I work for is largely digital. And that was not a transition that kind of happened overnight. It was a journey. And I invite all of you all to experience that journey as well in the world of digital. It's truly amazing. And what you can learn is immense. It doesn't end. So I see myself not just as a marketing professional, but as a brand marketer who believes in building brands. And today, a lot of brand building actually happens in the digital landscape. So I'm not actually here to talk to you about a digital marketing lesson. I'm not here to give you a digital marketing lesson. You are going to be enrolling at Slim to get that lesson and get yourself qualified. But I'm here to tell you why it's important and why branding is so important in the digital world. I do this day in, day out with 15 brands of hotels and resorts in Sri Lanka and the Maldives. And I can tell you just how important branding in the digital world is and how they both sort of come together. And that's really the topic that I wanted to choose today to share with all of you, just to kind of open your eyes, open your mind about how branding really works in the digital world. You're probably very familiar with the term of branding, being a logo, creating an identity, etc., right? But branding is so much more than that, especially when you're applying it to digital. And that's really what I wanted to share with you today. So that's what my slides are going to be about today. And I'm happy to take you through all of that. But more importantly, I invite all of you to ask questions, raise your hand, unmute and speak, or if you're uncomfortable with speaking, please put your comments on the chat box and share with me what you think, if you have any insights to share, etc., because I would be absolutely happy to engage with all of you. All right. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. And I hope I can ask all of you to confirm to me when you have my screen. All right. Just give me a thumbs up, emote, give me a reaction, put something on the chat box and say, I can see your screen, and then we can get started. All right. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you all give me a thumbs up or comment on the chat box and tell me if you're ready? I take it that you all have my screen. Isuru and Satsarani, could you kindly confirm that you have my screen as well, please?
Yes, we can receive it.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you for that confirmation. All right. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about branding in digital, right? And you're probably wondering, okay, what could this possibly be about? Because branding is always a different topic. Digital is always a different topic. Well, I'm here to tell you that they are both today coming together in so many different ways, right? But first and foremost, let me tell you about what we all already know about, which is all of this. When you think digital marketing, you're thinking pay-per-click campaigns, you're thinking algorithms, you're thinking meta, you're thinking link building, you're thinking search engine optimization, you're thinking on-site SEO, off-site SEO, how do you increase your ROI? These are all going to be buzzwords that you have probably already heard about or will be hearing about when you learn your digital marketing. And they are absolutely important. They're absolutely important. You need to know all of this in order to understand how the digital marketing aspects work, how SEO works, how PPC works, how Google AdWords work, how you run campaigns, and all the rest of it. Because ultimately, when you do decide to become a digital marketer, you need to have this know-how. But this isn't all it, because ultimately, you are running all of these campaigns for who? You're running these campaigns for customers. You're running these campaigns for a market, an audience segment that you have seen that you want to target, right? We are all learning digital marketing today because we want to target a market. We want to basically create awareness. We want to build leads. We want to generate ROI and all the rest of it. That's why we're doing digital marketing, right? That's why we're doing online marketing, right? Well, that's personally why I'm doing online marketing at Cinnamon, because we are trying to bring our customers into our website. We're trying to make them convert. We are trying to get them to book our rooms and all the rest of it, right? But ultimately, don't you think they're all people? We are marketing and showing our ads. We're showing all kinds of social media pop-ups, from our website, Google SEO banners, PPC banners, getting them to click here, click there, showing them all kinds of ads because we want them to buy, 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 buy. That's what we marketers are told and programmed to do, right? But we're doing this to people who have genuine feelings, people who are you and I. How many of y'all have realized when you're just discussing something about, let's say, just the other day, I was telling a friend, oh, I need to buy a new mattress because my mattress is old. Wondering where I can get that from. And I was just having a conversation with her face to face, right? Then the next thing I know, I open up my phone and I'm seeing all kinds of target ads on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, about all the different mattress shops that I can go and visit and buy a mattress from. I feel so violated. I appreciate the fact that there are ads coming at me, but I also feel violated because my phone's listening to me. Google knows everything. You can't actually go out in the world and think nobody's tracking you because the internet is tracking you. And that's the reality, right? So ultimately, I do appreciate seeing those ads, but they're not always customized to me. I was discussing wanting a mattress, but I wasn't looking for a spring foam mattress necessarily. I was just discussing the option. I was discussing, okay, a queen size bed or a king size bed. I was still at that initial conversation, but I'm seeing target ads saying buy this spring foam mattress. This is the offer, etc. I don't actually want that, but it's showing me the ad anyway. And I'm a person with feelings. And I see so many ads every day and they're so cluttered. I'm browsing through my feed on Instagram and there's just so many different ads that just pop up in my face. Don't get me wrong. I do this too on a daily basis to customers because I'm pushing marketing messages of the hotels that I'm selling. So don't get me wrong. I am definitely doing it too. But ultimately, we're doing this to people. And people who may or may not know about your brand, people who may or may not need or want to purchase your brand, you're showing the ad anyway. And you'll see where I'm getting at when I'm bringing in this whole element of branding, right? Now let's talk about this market. Now, since we refer to a customer group as a market, right? How much of that 100% market can you actually get? When you start learning about digital marketing, now today you're here at the open day, but when you start getting into the nitty-gritties, you will start learning about in-market audiences, affinity audiences, similar audiences, lookalike audiences, and all the rest of it, right? But I'm talking about this huge customer group that we call this market, which is 100% of potential customers, right? In actual fact, only 5% of them are ready to buy your product. Let's take the spring foam mattress example. I would potentially be an in-market audience because I was actually looking to buy a mattress, right? For sure. So I am definitely in that in-market audience, right? But this is the interesting statistic, right? On average, we companies, marketers, digital marketers invest about 8% in this 95% and just the balance on the 5. Think about that for a little while. We are so used to trying to capture that 95%, that 95% who has no interest in the spring foam mattress. For example, my friend, I was only talking to her about me wanting a mattress, but she doesn't want a mattress, but she might see the ad as well. Now, it's not going to be relevant to her at all, right? What we call this in marketing terms and something that I talk about very often with my team is that we spray and pray. We call this the spray and pray approach, where you spray to the entire market and hope that a percentage of it converts, right? But that's not the way to go about it. Because ultimately, you need to be speaking to an audience that actually appreciates your brand, that actually knows about your brand, that actually wants your brand, right? So the way we invest our marketing budget needs to change completely, right? We are ultimately all fighting for the same market. And it's time that we take a company out approach and start thinking from a customer in approach, where we put the customer's needs first. Actually only show an ad to a customer if we have identified that that audience actually wants your ad, actually wants to buy your product. is actually your in-market audience. This is what we call a customer in approach, right? And the reason why it's so important to look at a customer in approach and focus on people who actually care about your brand is because it's really not that easy to get your marketing messages out there anymore. Gone are the days where you can think of a campaign, a 360 campaign where you put your print advertisements on paper, you have your radio campaigns going on, your out of home billboards going out, then you go into your digital piece, you do your SEO, PPC online. Let's say you have an unlimited budget, or the company that you work for or will be working for has an unlimited budget, and you just spend millions and millions of rupees on your marketing campaign. And then you have your PR, releasing press releases, doing direct mailers, EDMs, SMS marketing, the works. Let's do it all. Let's say we do it all, but it's really not that easy to get your marketing message out to your specific identified audience. Here's why. If I just take the digital marketing world, if I just take social media alone, I'm going to give you some startling facts, right? There's over 210 million snaps created each day on Snapchat. I'm not sure if any of y'all use Snapchat anymore, especially because there's TikTok and Instagram stories, but Snapchat is still very, very popular, especially in Western parts of the world. If you take Facebook, there's about 4.75 billion items, posts, content shared by Facebook users every day. 4.75 billion, right? If you take YouTube, there's 720,000 hours of videos uploaded every day on this platform. And on Twitter, there's every 24 hours, 500 million tweets are published. And if you take Instagram, there's 95 million photos and videos being shared on Instagram per day. These are stats that are shared by leading organizations such as Hootsuite, Statista, etc. So y'all are welcome to verify this, but they are startling facts. Now, what does all of this mean? There is serious content overload. Today, your audience sees 100, thousands and thousands of different messages. How do you stand out? You will not stand out today if you're just going to show your product, if you're just going to show your service, whatever that your brand is offering, and say, buy this, special offer, 15% off, limited time only. Why? It's not going to work. It's not going to work because there's so many other companies who are doing exactly that. And there's severe content overload. And your ad of 15%, yes, maybe it's an attractive discount, but maybe you're talking to the wrong audience and your audience actually doesn't want to buy it, right? So there's severe content overload, and sort of navigating through these millions and millions and millions of marketing messages every day is not easy. And that's where branding comes into play, right? Today, it is more important than ever. And here's another startling factor. You may or may already not know this, but I'm going to share it here, is that today it's a lot harder to engage your audience for another reason, not just because there's content overload, which I just shared in the previous slide, but for another reason. The average attention span of a human back in 2000 was 12 seconds. The average attention span of a human now is 8 seconds. It is even less than the attention span of a goldfish. A goldfish has 9 seconds. Let that sink in for a while. Our attention span has diminished to be less than that of a goldfish. So sometimes you may joke and you may hear people say, oh my gosh, I can't remember what happened last week, man. I have the attention span of a goldfish. I mean, I say it all the time. Now I have to correct myself and say, no, sorry, my attention span is actually less than that of a goldfish, right? And that's the truth. And the reason for this is because we are constantly consuming millions and millions of content every single day. And it's diminishing our attention span. We can't physically be able to give undivided attention to every single marketing message. It just won't happen. So our attention span diminishes. If you take social media companies like Meta, they identified this and started introducing things like Reels, Now you have Instagram Reels, basically to counter what TikTok is doing. And you have the opportunity to push out messages, content, videos, which are just a couple of seconds long. And that's how much our attention span has diminished, and it's only going to get worse. Okay, so now let this sink in for a while. With a 6-second attention span, how are you going to share your marketing message? And how are you going to tell your customer why your company or your brand is more important than your competitor within that 6 seconds? This is what we call the attention span regression. And more we see this happening even with our own customers, where when we show a message or when we start pushing our performance marketing campaigns, we're seeing that, our customers are not always engaging with it. So we've had to completely change strategy, which is essentially what I want to talk to you about today, because we understand that there is something called the attention span regression, right? And today, an average person makes 35,000 decisions a day. And research shows that it is a 5-second window between a thought, an idea, or an intuition, and the brain's move to go with or kill it. So either you make that decision to purchase that mattress, or purchase that phone, or purchase that clothing item, or kill that idea and just move on to something else. Shifting between, okay, am I going to buy that top of Kelly Felder, or am I going to buy it off RENT? You make that decision within 5 seconds, because Kelly Felder is also showing you marketing messages. RENT is also showing you marketing messages, and so is Sigma Jones. So many different fashion labels, G-Flock, etc., showing you marketing messages, telling you to buy the same thing in a different price and in a different platform, right? So 5 seconds is all it takes to make or break a consumer's purchase decision, okay? And here's another myth. I think we've all learned, I have personally learned throughout my career, that this customer journey starts with dreaming, planning, consideration, purchase, loyalty, advocacy. Every customer goes through this linear journey of how they interact with your brand and make that purchase decision, consider your brand, and then there's post-purchase, etc. This is what I have learned many years ago. But then over the more recent years, I came to the startling realization just through the marketing campaigns that I was doing that absolutely it is not so. And research and stats will tell you the same. The customer journey is in fact convoluted, right? If you see this dotted line going from A to B, this shows a linear path, right? This was the old path to purchase, where you have some awareness, or you see a target ad, you have some awareness about it, you have some idea about what that brand might be selling. Then you move into a consideration phase when you see the ad again in a different form, and you're thinking, okay, am I going to purchase this? And then you go ahead and purchase it. So it was a very linear journey back then. But today's customer is very, very intelligent. And today's customer has a lot of options, a lot more than before, right? So they are going through a convoluted journey, and that convoluted journey doesn't only happen on digital, right? This is why, especially when I do campaigns with my team, we don't only, whilst all of our campaigns take a digital first approach, we don't do every single campaign on digital only. We bring in a component of traditional as well. The reason for this is, for example, if I'm running a campaign or running an offer, your audience or listeners on a radio might hear about it, and then they'll go on Facebook and they'll see a target ad on the same promotion. Then they will go for coffee with a friend, and then the friend will talk about it and say, oh, by the way, did you hear on the radio there was this promotion that Cinnamon was doing? And then there'll be a conversation about it. Oh, yeah, I saw a promotional message. I saw a target post on Instagram as well. And there'll be a conversation about it. So that's word of mouth. Shall we go? And then they'll probably go into even print. If, for example, their parents are reading the newspapers, there might be an advertisement and they might talk about it. So there's a whole entire journey that a customer goes through. In many instances, we have found our customers actually coming onto our website because obviously we run our PPC and SEO campaigns, and PPC especially we run for the foreign markets. And what we interestingly end up seeing is that they see our PPC target ad, so they'll click on the ad, they'll end up on our website because we want them to convert on our website, and then they drop off. They don't actually complete the purchase. They don't complete the purchase, but then subsequently they'll see the ad again in a different format. They'll connect with it better on social, and they'll actually complete the purchase by seeing the social media ad instead. We call this assisted conversions. So today, one thing is your customer journey is not linear, it's convoluted, and also assisted conversions actually need to really add to how you decide on your ROI. Because today, for example, when I'm spending budget, I always tell the management, I need some budget for awareness and I need some budget for the conversions. Awareness, because I need to do the branding. I need to push the relevant messages, the relevant communication, and build a relationship with my customers. So that awareness budget is not going to give me any money. It's just going to help me build the brand. It's just going to help me get that top of mind recall. The conversion based budget is, of course, my performance marketing, where it's very clearly call to action, end up either offline or online, but make a purchase, right? But I will get to the conversion budget only after I have done the awareness. Right. If this is getting a little too, I do want to get a little bit technical with you all, because I think it's really important, especially because all of you understand the importance of digital, and I'm trying to tell you how much more important it is today, and that digital happens in so many forms and customers exist in different spaces, right? So when the awareness component happens, that's why it's most interesting for me as a marketer. That's why it's most interesting for me, because I get to do the branding and I get to build a relationship with the customer. And that's really what this entire session is about building the brand on your digital, right? So I hope y'all are clear about this. And if you have any questions, please put it on the chat box. I'm happy to take it at the end. So I spoke about performance marketing. But when we bring the branding component into it, we call it performance branding. Now, this is a new concept. This concept is really about seeing your customers as people, really, as people who have different needs, as people who want to connect with meaningful things, with meaningful products, with meaningful services. So performance marketing, if I give you a very basic example, or just tell you this in layman terms, performance marketing is your quick fix. You show your SEO campaigns, you show your target ads. If a customer likes it, they click convert, then you have your conversion rate. You are able to explain to your management what your return on ad spend is. Very, very straightforward stuff, right? But performance branding is a journey. It's a journey to building trust. It's a journey to building this relationship with your target audience. And that's not something that happens overnight. Today, we actually focus a lot of our efforts on performance branding, because like I said before, I actually have a separate budget allocated to build awareness alone, not just for conversions, because we don't see customers as customers anymore. We see customers as people, right? And that's something that I really want to stress on for all of you. When you do start doing your digital marketing, remember that you're marketing to people, right? So make sure your marketing message is as relevant and meaningful and emotional as possible, right? So if I tell you what performance branding essentially entails, you have the performance piece, which is, of course, to drive conversions. And then you have the branding piece, which is about building emotional connections. I'd like to just tell you all, or rather ask you all, how do brands like Nike make you feel? How do brands like Amazon make you feel? They're not actually selling their products to you, right? If I take Nike, for example, Nike is not selling shoes. That's not their business. Nike is selling greatness. And that's a very powerful thing. If any of you all want to take case studies of brands that do performance branding really well, I would give you so many examples, mostly international. Nike would be one such example. Dove would be one such example. Unilever, Airbnb, they do performance branding really well because they pay so much attention to building emotional connections. You will always want to buy a Nike because of what Nike makes you feel. If you check any of their ads, if you see any of their ads, they're always telling you about how great you can be, about how you can do it, about how you can conquer anything. And that's really talking to you at a very personal level. It's making you feel good. It's making you feel encouraged and motivated. They're not at any point telling you, buy our shoes, they're of great quality. That's called selling. They're not selling to you. They're doing performance branding and they're emotionally connecting with you. Another way of calling emotional connectivity with brands is storytelling. I'm sure you would have heard this word, this buzzword in many forums. And I can't tell you enough how important it is to storytell. In everything that we do as Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, we storytell. We are all about now creating those meaningful connections with our customers, telling them why they deserve the best, why they deserve to feel inspired, why they deserve to get away from the hustle and bustle and experience something so that they can have mindfulness, so that they can have well-being. We always put their needs at the heart of everything that we do. And it has made a world of a difference in how we connect with our customers. So simply put, if I could just really explain this to you in this picture that I've shared, you can't market anymore. Today, don't call yourself a marketer. I used to call myself a marketer, but now I have over the years really changed how I see myself. I'm a brand marketer. I'm not just a marketer. Because for me, I really want my customers and people to connect with the brand, which I don't want to market to them. I want them to emotionally connect with it, right? So simply put, marketing is like asking someone on a date, and branding is the reason they say yes. Because the reason you make that decision, the reason that you say yes to something is because it's emotionally triggered you, right? So if I tell you what performance branding entails very quickly, performance branding is essentially broken up into two components. If you take the branding component, you go into the detail of looking at your mission, your buyer persona, what is your competitors doing, and how are you positioned? What are your unique selling propositions? How do you design yourself to be relevant to your audience? And how do you create that awareness? Right? I won't even go into the performance part because I'm sure you have seen these phases and these stages in every single performance marketing model that you would have come across, right? But this branding piece is really important. Today, we are reimagining how we even develop a marketing brief or a creative brief. Today, when I speak to my team to design an artwork, for example, for a social media post, I'm not telling them, guys, we are speaking to the ABC income brackets, 25 to 45 ages. I'm not going into that kind of thing because that's target audience. I'm talking about actual humans. I'm talking about the buyer persona. We go into the detail of defining which buyer persona we want to speak to, especially on digital, because on digital, you can do hyper targeting and micro segmenting. And I'm sure all of you all will learn about this when you're getting to digital marketing, but that's the beauty of digital, that you can actually go hyper local, you can go hyper target, you can go hyper personalization, right? So identifying these personas are really key. So that's the first thing we do when we are cracking a concept or we're cracking and brainstorming a campaign. We'll try and identify what is the story we're trying to tell. What is, it's not what are we trying to sell, but what is the story we are trying to tell, right? Who are we talking to? Is it Shalini, who is a corporate professional who loves the outdoors, who loves to travel and often takes trips with her girlfriends, loves to stay at a villa and really loves some personal time, loves to read and loves to take hikes? Is it Shalini? Or is it Mr. and Mrs. Tudave, who are 50 to 65 retired, and they have, they're very happy, retired and loving their travel. And they love to go to places where they have spacious rooms and they, enjoy with their grandchildren. Those are just examples of how you define your buyer persona. When you define your buyer persona as to who these people are that you're trying to talk to, you are able to do a much more targeted campaign, as opposed to going ABC1, Colombo, suburbs, and that kind of filtration. You are able to add those extra layers, especially when you do targeting on Meta. You can add those extra layers and understand whether they're engaged, whether they're looking for honeymoon, whether they're interested in luxury watches because they're retired and they have all of this money saved, that they just want to spend and enjoy their life. You can actually go into all those deep layers and do that deep level segmentation and make your marketing message super, super personalized. And that's really where it's at today, guys. Being super personalized and just making your marketing message relevant. That's why this branding piece is really, really important and something that I'm frankly very passionate about, right? So with that, I'd just like to leave you with some key takeaways. I hope the content made sense to you and you understood where I was coming from, especially me being a brand marketer and having worn both the traditional and the online hat in my career. I'd like to leave these 4 key takeaways with you. Is that number 1, you cannot measure customer success through the marketing funnel because the marketing funnel is convoluted and the customer journey is convoluted. You can't say, oh, I got my ROI purely through my PPC campaign. It's a myth. And I can tell you this because I do this on a daily basis. There's such a thing called assisted conversions, and you have to factor that in as well. Number 2, consumers value and prioritize authenticity and brand communications. Whatever you are communicating, be real, be authentic, because you're talking to people and they are smarter than you think. So if you're going to, bring something up, make something up, claim to be the best at making a specific dish when you're not, your customers are going to see through that. So be authentic. Number 3, and this is one of my favorites. It's something that I always say to my team as well. Without data, you are just somebody with an opinion, right? So don't think you know everything about your customers. Don't think you can measure success of a campaign just purely based on assumptions. You need to look at your data. And with digital, you can. You have Google Analytics. You have so many different sources of data points, and you need to mine them. You need to go through every data point and understand exactly what happened to your customer, what happened to your customer behavior, how they felt, how they went through that different phases of their journeys, what did they react to, what did they not react to, etc. So you need to really, really work with data. I am personally taking a course in data and advanced analytics because as a marketing professional, I found that is so much more impactful for me to add more value to the work that I do. So data is key. And with digital, you will have so many data points to work with. And number 4, think customers as people with emotions and connect with them. Don't think transaction. Don't think of them as somebody who's going to pay your bills. Think of them as people with feelings. If you think of customers as people, you will immediately change the way you approach them. You will not think of them as a piggy bank. You will not think of them as a bank, period. You will start thinking about what they want. And that's really what's important, right? So these are the 4 key takeaways that I'd like to share with you on the performance branding side of things and how branding is so important today in the digital world. Because after all, at the end of the day, we are all humans creating for humans. So make sure that you stay human. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Pramukshi Kariyawasam, for your inspiring words and for joining us today. It was a pleasure and honor to have you with us. And now, moving on to the next part of our program, which will be an introduction to our program. So for that, I would like to welcome Shanika Ratnaika, the Senior Lecturer of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, MBA holder of the University of the West of England, Bristol, fellow member of the Digital Marketing Association of Sri Lanka, and also currently operates as an Assistant Vice President, Marketing at Primi Digital Bank, powered by Nation Trust Bank PLC. The current portfolio includes planning, monitoring all omnichannel campaigns for both brand building and performance based campaigns, using digital channels along with maintaining a robust CRM platform to engage existing customers and drive business objectives continuously. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Shanika Ratnaikar to address.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you, Slim, for this opportunity, and thank you, Pramukshi, for that enlightening session on the marketing element, especially on from digital element, digital angle, and also getting the insights of thinking about your market and in terms of humans, and then build that whole hype so that it's easy for us to get on with the rest of the content outline. So can everybody see the presentation? Is this visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, thanks. Right. Okay, so let's get on with what you're in for, right? So the whole the diploma in digital marketing program that you're going to go through in terms of the journey, right? Will take you in a journey where you go through multiple touch points, and from the start, I would like to make a small point and make a statement, right? From the beginning itself, right? Well, you might wonder why one of the resource person for this program comes and says that there's nothing called digital marketing anymore, right? So even the program is named in that sense because of categorizing it under a certain topic. Well, in today's world, just like you heard from the previous resource person, you're talking to humans, and the humans are having fluid interactions with multiple touch points, right? So in today's world, you wouldn't have to limit yourselves to thinking that digital marketing is something that is done in a separate silo. It's done in a dark room, right? Where there are people who are very specialized in a certain element in what they do, probably into performance marketing or social media marketing, search engine optimization, and they do it in separate silos. It doesn't work like that. So currently, where we are, right, in today's context, I would like to place this statement that there is simply nothing called digital marketing, but we are right now in a world where we market to people in a digital world, right? This is what we are doing today. We're marketing in a digital world, starting from consumers to solutions to businesses, all have experienced and evolved with digital, and things are moving at that pace, and we got to identify and then understand this element where consumers, businesses, brands, solutions, technology, everything is going to help you as marketers, as brand marketers, to help or to do marketing in a digital world to the end users. So with that, I would take you through a glimpse of what you're in for in terms of the marketing strategy also. So what you see here is actually a definition of how you break your marketing problems into three different segments, right? First, you got your diagnosis, right? Identifying the problem, defining what you're looking for, right? First, you got to understand what your problem is. Now, this could be in terms of the outcome when it might affect your case study or your assignments of this program, or even your actual real life problems. Maybe you're facing as a client, as an agency partner, or even when you're handling your own business, right? Identifying the marketing, or when it comes to developing the strategy, breaking it into three elements where diagnosis comes in first, and that is about identifying the problem. And then the most important part, developing the strategy. how do we get to that destination we want? By defining what your destination is, which is your diagnosis. And then the last pillar, right? The last pillar, which is your marketing mix, right? It could be from the 4 Ps or even to the 7 Ps. It's technically your marketing mix, your execution, your implementation, how the strategy is executed to the end users, right? So that it'll deliver results based on your strategy, right? So this is the simplified formula, giving equal weightage in terms of spending time, spending resources, adding value for these 3 segments, from diagnosing, defining the strategy, and then executing it with the use of the marketing mix. But you would wonder, in today's context, right? We seem to be stuck in a place, especially with digital marketing coming into the game, right? Because it's so easy for anybody to do a content, anybody to do a Facebook campaign on the Meta ad platform. Right now, even getting an ad campaign on Google is so easy, right? So if right now what we see is, and you might also go through, we feel, right, let's do the comms part, let's do the communications, let's do the promotions first. Let's get the Facebook page set up, right? Let's get the advertising, let's get the boosting budget sorted, right? That's the approach that you see probably in most cases, right? So that is when it comes to not giving enough weightage to diagnosis, defining the strategy, and most importantly, thinking only about the execution, and that also from the point of communications or the promotion. So this that usually happens because of 3 reasons, right? When an organization or lack of information or lack of mandate for overall the orchestration of things, as in how do you link everything together? How do you connect different channels? How do you connect different media? And when that happens, it causes this kind of an issue where we are forced to think of Facebook posts, Facebook boosting, and then also maybe things like YouTube advertising. That's what comes to our mind. And the second reason that usually it results in this kind of a behavior is we are increased focus on short-term profits, right? So that is or short-term growth, right? When that happens, also it will result in this kind of a situation. And then the third, which I feel from the experience, and then things going through things from agency and then on a client side end, it's a lack of or it's the fear of missing out on new things, right? When new technology comes in, everybody wants to, hey, I want to do this. I want to try this out. Well, without actually looking at how relevant it would be for the brand, or what sort of results it will affect in terms of execution and then outcome overall for your brand. So missing out on new trends and technologies is also one of the causes for brands to face this issue of focusing only on the comms part, even before diagnosing and developing the strategy, because that's the easiest thing. And the critical thing here is simply because digital marketing is so much in terms of a channel implementing is become so easy and accessible. The strategy part is most of the time given little weightage. So with that, we as marketers, everybody in this session today, right? You simply at marketing, you don't technically operate as the arts and crafts department, right? You don't necessarily focus only about the comms, the content, right? The creative ideas. Simply not the arts and crafts department. It goes beyond. The marketing plays a bigger role, because even coming from the marketing mix, everything related to the product, the pricing, the promotions, and even the people and the processors within the organization is also coming within the marketing mix, which is a responsibility that lies within all of us. So digital provides opportunities for any business, right, to disrupt traditional business models, and it could also be targeted at impacting traditional revenue models also because of digital. And for marketers, right, it's important to be proactive and continuously innovate in order to be up the game, right? So how do we do it? With the use of digital technologies, with the use of digital tools, with the use of digital platforms at your reach, right? So that is something that you're going to go through within the whole program. How do you use these tools? How do you apply them in your real life situations? How do you apply it in hypothetical situations, probably with getting a few case studies that were done in the past, right? A small point. So gradually the level of uh, importance or the in-depth level of high case studies done throughout the programs is improving now, right? So things are we are relating to very real life situations when it comes to your hypothetical case studies also. So it's with the objective of getting everybody to be aligned in order to be proactive and think innovatively, and how do we disrupt existing business models with the use of digital tools, channels, and theories and principles also that lie within digital marketing, and how do we apply them in real life instances, right? So this is what you're going to get learn through this journey, from search marketing to content marketing to search engine optimization, search engine marketing overall, and then also not forgetting the new paradoxes of marketing, right? How does things like metaverse come into play, right? How does uh, crypto and then digital currencies, right? How does blockchain impact your overall businesses? So there's a whole new module related to the new paradoxes of marketing also, which is going to give you a lot of eye-opening in terms of how can we think of disruptions, how can we think of digital disruption in terms of the traditional models that have been setting. And with that, we can get a whole practical overview with the whole content within the programs. How do you look for opportunities, or you can create your opportunities to streamline and improve the current processes, right? In your role, even at the start, right? Even immediately from day one itself, you could apply the new principles, new tools, new theories that are going through from this program in your real life in executions, so that it'll help you to save on your time, reduce cost in terms of your marketing spend, cost as in even with the same cost, a higher ROI could be a result of it. And most importantly, right? And you might have, let me quote the point. If what Pramukshi said before, right? If you're going into a meeting and you're giving out something without your data, you're just a person with an opinion. So that's quite true, right? So getting and having access to metrics and improving your ability to understand these metrics and how do you apply it into real life problems is also something that you're going to go through. And with that, with the importance of data, let me bring into you, showcase a different overview of the whole concepts of data also. Very recently, a couple of years ago, right, the whole human race found out that the data is the most valuable resource in the world, with the big tech players like Google, Meta, Amazon, all coming into the game and having collected tons and tons of data. And we've identified that data is the most valuable resource, and you can you can agree with the statement, right? Data is technically the new oil, right? New crude oil, right? That's the new most valuable resource available to all humans around the globe. So with that being said, right, with that same lingo, yes, data is the new oil and the most valuable resource, right? So let me bring it in the same principle, just like crude oil, right? Just like crude oil, what you do with your data matters a lot. The reason is it's only good as how good it's refined, right? How good your data is refined, and most importantly, for what purpose it is used. For example, if it's your website performance, right? If you're running an e-commerce business, yes, it's good to have your Google Analytics. It's good to have your Facebook pixels set up, right? Even additional pixels or additional data points plugged into your website to collect data. Well, what do you do with your data is the big question. How do you refine that data? How do you correlate some of these behaviors to actual things that humans do in with the use of that data? Right? And then, most importantly, however much it is refined also, What are you going to do with your data? Are you going to impact the customer lifetime value? Are you going to increase the short-term profit, short-term goals? Are you going to impact your overall brand value? How do you do that? What are you going to do with that length and breadth of information that you unveil with the important with the data that you have collected, right? Now that is something which we will also be factoring in or giving value in terms of the program content, right? Where you will be exposed to not only website related data, but also social media, search marketing, search engine optimization included, and to things like content marketing also. How do you make use of information collected from your content marketing? It could be a simple influencer marketing campaign also, but that itself will contain a lot of data points in terms of qualitative and quantitative elements. So how do you make use of it is something important. And end of the program, I'm sure we will be able to actually understand my initial statement. Why when I said there's nothing called digital marketing anymore, right? It's just simply marketing in a digital world. And I'm sure at the end of the program, everybody will align towards that. And I'm sure some of you may have doubts, some of you may have different opinions to that statement. I'm fine with that. But with the content or with the program coming to an end, you will realize what it actually is, because digital only is going to be the enabler for you to do your segmentation, your targeting and positioning of your product, of your brand, right? So that is something which lies with the basics or fundamentals of marketing: segmentation, targeting and positioning. And digital technologies, digital theories, digital ideas that you're going to go through will help you to do that better. Do what? Segment better, target better, and position your brand better. So my request to everybody in the session today. So I would be meeting you in I think a couple of modules also personally. So my request to you is, because you're going to be exposed to a lot of uh, people or resource personnel who are hands-on with the topic or with the module that they're doing. So because of that reason, simply because of that, my request is be curious and ask questions. Be curious and ask questions, because digital is only, it's supposed to be updated continuously, right? So what happened yesterday might not be relevant today, but understanding what happened yesterday is not going to work tomorrow is something that will be taught through this program, right? Because it's not static, it's going to evolve. Technologies that we are going to discuss within the program would not be relevant, would be upgraded in the next year, right? So that is something which you can't stop. But being curious in terms of idea, understanding why that change is going to be important, right? How can I make use of that change for my business, growth is important, and that is what you're going to be in for. For that reason, please do ask questions from each and every resource person that you're going to meet throughout this journey, and be curious. And most importantly, I'm sure you do this also. Make sure you keep it a practice to use the search, right? To use the search. Any principle, any theory that is being discussed in all of these modules, do a simple Google search, right? Have a look at what things have changed, things have evolved. What are the case studies? So you will go through some of these examples also in the program, but doing that self-research also will keep you up to date and be able to help use these theories, principles in your practical life immediately, right? To help with that purpose, let's make sure we be curious, willingly ask questions, and also use search, right? So just giving an outline of what again the customer path to purchase. Well, there are principles like the messy middle, right? The messy middle, which will also be one of the elements within your content module, where how people make that purchase decision in the area what we call the messy middle, right? An extension of a thing called zero moment of truth. So these are just a glimpse of what you're going to be in for. So what was said in terms of theory, you'll understand what people go through in that messy middle before making that purchase decision from a digital transaction or digital engagement point of view. So this is what you're all in for. And I'd love to iterate on this point again. Be curious, ask questions, because you're going to be meeting the best of the best when it comes to the respective module outlines or the respective program modules. So make sure you get an engagement with them and question in order to dig deep into the theory. So thank you again for your time, and thank you for the opportunity again, Slim. Happy to be a part of this session and hoping to see you with the rest of the sessions and go through this journey together and complete the program with a high note and add value to your lives as well. Thank you all.
And thank you, sir, for your words. It was also a pleasure to have you with us today. So now, as we have come to to the end of the intro, we all will be clear about what digital marketing is. And now, let us move on to the next part of our program. For that, I would like to invite Ms. Dulakshi Jayawardena to give the program brief, who is the Junior Executive of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing Business School. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Dulakshi Jayawardena.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible and are my slides visible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Slim Business School, I would like to warmly welcome you all for the inauguration of Diploma in Digital Marketing Intake 2 2022. I'm Dilukshi Javardhana from Slim Business School and the coordinator for Diploma in Digital Marketing program. And here I would like to take you through some of important details about Diploma in Digital Marketing program. So we have designed the content of this program by targeting marketing professionals with fundamental knowledge of digital marketing and professionals at the senior managerial level who need to equip themselves with the digital marketing knowledge. So if you have completed the certificate in digital marketing program at SLIM, or if you have followed any other qualification in digital marketing, you are eligible to follow this diploma in digital marketing program. As well, if you are a marketing professional who has completed your MBA, or if you have many years of experience in marketing world, yes, you are eligible in this diploma in digital marketing program. So this program has been designed to expect so many learning outcomes at the end of the completion of the program. Some of them are to identify the importance of digital marketing for marketing success, to obtain detailed knowledge at the, and understanding of digital marketing concepts, their functions and application, and to be able to apply digital marketing strategies, tools, and tactics in a variety of contexts, and to manage customer relationships across all digital channels and build better relationships. And if I mention some key facts about the digital diploma in digital marketing, the duration will be only 8 months, and the program will be conducted in English medium. We have planned to conduct the whole program online via Microsoft Teams, and a clear guideline on Microsoft Teams will be shared with all the registered students at the class commencement. And SLIM will provide you the SLIM LMS access and the Pearson eLibrary access to make your learning effective and easy. Now I'm going to explain the curriculum of the Diploma in Digital Marketing program. The DDM program, Diploma in Digital Marketing program, will consist of 11 modules, namely the first one is Principles of Digital Marketing, the second one Digital Planning Process, third Social Media Marketing, fourth Content Marketing, fifth Search Engine Optimization, sixth Google Ads Paid Search, seventh Google Ads Display, eighth Google Ads Video, ninth Advanced Programmatic Advertising, 10th Contemporary Themes in Digital, and the final one will be Digital Marketing in Practice. The evaluation criteria will be in two ways, and there are two group assignments along with presentations, and all the students are required to sit for an online examination at the end of all these 11 modules. Students will be given guidelines and guidance for all these assignments and for the examination, and the final grading will be awarded according to your performance and at the each of these assessment components. This is the recommended reference reading material, and you will be able to access this and many other ebooks once you are registered and given the access for the Pearson e-library. And the learning sessions of this Diploma in Digital Marketing program will be on every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. via MS Teams. And all the class joining links will be shared with all students via email prior to the classes. And the class commencement will be on 15th of October 2022. This is the class timetable for Diploma in Digital Marketing Intake 2 2022. And we will be sharing the class timetable with all the students who have registered for the program at the class commencement. And all the students are requested to follow the program timetable and attend for the classes accordingly. And this is the program handbook for Diploma in Digital Marketing, and this will carry all the important details that you need in the program, and all the students are requested to read the program handbook too, and we will be sharing this program handbook also at the class commencement. So Slim will communicate with students mostly via email, and students are requested to provide an accessible email address and check your emails in regular basis. And as well, students can contact Slim for any inquiry regarding the program. And if you have registered in Colombo Slim Business School, you may email to ddm@slim.edu.lk, and you can contact me via 070-366-2177. And if you have registered in Kandy Slim Business School, you may contact Ms. Rasika Priyadarshini, and you may email her via rasika.p@slim.lk, and you can call her via 070-326-4499. And if you have registered in Matara Slim Business School, you may contact Ms. Pawani Hansika. You can email to her via pawani.h@slim.lk, and you can call her via 070-1918-077. So students, you can contact Slim at any of your concerns with the relevant coordinators in any at any point. So once you are completed with your qualifications, you are invited to the Slim graduation ceremony in 2023, and you will be awarded with Diploma in Digital Marketing at the glamorous ceremony. So students, that brings me At the end of my presentation, finally, I wish you all the best in your future studies in becoming successful marketers in the world of marketing. And thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dilakshi Jayavardhana. Thank you for your words, and it was a privilege in having you here. So now we have come to the end of our program. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and patience. We are extremely privileged to have you all here today. Stay safe and have a nice day.